السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء. رب اجعل هذا البلد آمنا واجنبني وبني أن نعبد الأصنام. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. رب لا تذرني فردا وأنت خير الوارثين. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Amen. Welcome everyone, and we will continue studying the text taken from the book, which the title is The Words. So the author is Said Nursi, and we are reading 22nd section of the book, and also not only 22nd, we are towards the end, the second station of the 22nd word. So Anne is going to present us where we are coming from and where we are going, what is the subject we are talking about in a summary, as she does beautifully every week.
Thank you. Okay, so last week we were still on the 6th flash, where the emphasis is on God's absoluteness.
Mhm.
So we looked at this how can I say this? We looked at two different sides of something. One is, when we look at the universe, we can still be doubtful about our existence in the afterlife. How can these doubts be addressed? Well, if he created the mountains and the earth in 6 days and continuously fills and empties them, of course he can raise men to life. Who do you think he is anyway? So it's not sensible to doubt that there's an existence in the afterlife, because he who can create the mountains and earth in 6 days and continuously fill and empty them, if he can do that, then of course he can raise men to life. And then we talked about how everything is happening at an infinite scale. All these different elements all happening in an infinite scale, such as speed, generosity, order, and beauty, all at once, which is another way to look at the absoluteness of God, that this infinity and all these elements happening at the same time has to only be the work of an absolute creator. And although he is nowhere, he is all present and all seeing everywhere. Then we talked about, if I'm thankful and if I use my senses the way intended, the creator says your senses will be warded by my infinite power. And then this section ended with an interesting quote. Glory be to him at whose art minds are bewildered. And we sort of looked at a deeper meaning of bewildered, and concluded that a good synonym would be astounded. And then we had just started the seventh flash, which began with talking about the mutual assistance of all beings, how they work all together in an order, which can't be done unconsciously. It takes an all-wise disposer to do that. And we talked about we ended with this question of how do most people understand this term divine unity? And we kind of concluded that most people probably don't really understand this term divine unity. And it takes a lot of study to really understand. Yeah, that's where my notes end.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much. Everything is very fine. Divine unity, you said at the very end of your summary of the last week's discussion. Beautiful summary. I really enjoyed it, covered everything.
Oh, alhamdulillah, thank you.
In essence, yes, you are welcome. So, you said one word which attracted my attention. It needs lots of study to understand divine unity. If I'm not
Yeah. We you posed the question of how many people typically how many people would understand that term. And we are those of us in the friends in the class, we kind of concluded that not many people would really understand this term and that it takes a lot of study, to understand.
yeah, that is perfect. That is really correct. But I would like to replace the word study with paying attention and reflecting on the creation. Because majority of the people don't have time to study. But every one of us have some sort of time to reflect on it. It needs intention, questioning what is going on. Where did I get this? And how come the sun emits light? What is that? Is it really conscious? Is it a really conscious being? This kind of questioning needs just intention, and after having the intention, paying attention to it. Nothing more. But if someone has time to study and go into details of their existence, the way they are created, most welcome. But not many people, including myself, are really ready to do that. So we have to go and enroll in a school and study. No, this is just our daily life. And throughout daily life, we can benefit from all of them as we love to benefit from them. Because the more we pay attention to the creation, to things as they are coming into existence, as they are provided for us consciously, as we have been studying why they are so conscious, the conscious they prepared and created for us, because of the very nature of their existence reveals that we cannot be the result of accident or just meaningless happening. No. In our existence, you can see the signs of intention, consciousness, purpose, knowledge, mercy, you name it. Lots of qualities are really shining on the existence of everything. So intention, I would say, and then paying attention. I mean, being a considerate person, where I am, what is going on here, rather than paying attention to my clothes and the harmony of my clothes. That is nothing wrong with it, but even more, much more important to pay attention to the beautiful creation around us. For example, when I see as every day we experience this pigeon or a sparrow or any other uh, birds and animals, we don't pay attention as much as we pay attention to our own, the way we look. We don't pay attention, that much attention, to the way that the pigeon are designed, beautifully decorated. We don't. When we look at the sky, we look at the sky whether it is going to rain or not, cloudy or sunny. But the way the sky is decorated with the clouds, it is how it is arranged perfectly, beautifully. And this beautiful decoration of everything definitely points to the intention of their creator, that he desires, loves to entertain us, not only benefiting from the rain, but also benefiting from their beauty. If someone draws a beautiful picture or paints a beautiful picture of a sunset, sunrise, for example, the beautiful decoration of the clouds on the sky, we pay money just for this painting. How about the original creation of them? So they need attention. That's what I wanted to emphasize on, the easiness of living our life with the consciousness of our belief in the Creator, and through this consciousness, being always in connection with Him. That is what we need, to keep our connection with God at every moment while we are experiencing everything in this world and seeing the grace of our Creator, how beneficent, how merciful, compassionate He is, so that He is just really entertaining us in this beautiful home of the universe. That is our home, prepared for us. We are sent here without uh, even putting us into trouble, anything, even that is amazing, really amazing to see the baby is sent, created in this world, and with no power whatsoever, but everything the baby needs is taken care of, prepared by God. The mothers and fathers may think that we are taking care of the needs of the baby. No, you are, but you have to. Why? Because your Creator is taking care of the needs of the baby by giving you this inevitable feeling that you have to take care of the baby. You cannot do otherwise. That is the preparation of the creator of the baby. So we have to thank the parents, but at the same time, the one who created the parents with this sense needs infinitely more thanking. Otherwise, why should we take care of something else. I just take care of my own needs. So I am employed. Everybody, whether they believe in God or not, they have to do it. And they do. Unless and physical, some difficulties that they cannot do it. Although they want, but they cannot. That is something different, special cases. All right. Inshallah, we can continue reading.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we are here left last
Yes.
week.
Yes, a veil of wisdom demonstrating intention, consciousness, and will has covered the whole universe. And upon that veil of wisdom has been spread a veil of grace and favor, exhibiting generosity, adornment, embellishment, and compassion. And over that adorned veil of favor, a garment of mercy, displaying flashes of making known and loved, of bestowal and the granting of gifts has enveloped the universe. And spread over that illuminated veil of universal mercy is a table of general provisions showing kindness and bestowal and perfect compassion and fine nurturing and dominical favor.
Is it understandable and makes sense rather than making lots of comments and taking your time? What do you think? Your generosity, adornment, embellishment, and compassion is obvious. Why? Making known and loved, making known, their creator known and loved by us. So these are just gifts as enveloped the universe, granting everywhere. Everything is a gift. Even we pay for it, they are all gifts. We don't pay for the creator anything. So this is a table of general provisions showing kindness and bestowal and perfect compassion and fine nurturing and dominical favor. Why? Just we should not be negligence of these beautiful presents to us. We have to be human, really just exercise our human feelings and be thankful, acknowledge it, and thankful. Don't deny it. Just not to thank for to the Creator. Don't try to find out some way to deny it and say that no, they happen to be like this. They don't have any owner. That is just obstinacy. Bigotry to me. We shouldn't be like this. And then the text, I don't know. What do you think? When we read the text, do we get the meaning?
Well, for me, what this is connected to what you said at the beginning of class today, when you reframed divine unity from taking study to paying attention to, and looking at the creation with intention. To me, this is just another way of saying that.
Yeah. Okay, we can continue.
Yes, all beings from particles to suns, whether individuals or species, or large or small, have been clothed in a magnificent shirt of wisdom, embroidered with fruits and aims, benefits, and purposes. And over the wisdom displaying shirt, a garment of favor embroidered with flowers of grace and generosity, has been cut out in accordance with the stature of things. And over that ornamented garment of favor, a general table of sustenance has been set up, lit up with flashes of love, bestowal, affection, and the granting of gifts, to which the decorations of mercy have been attached, and which, together with bestowing those illuminated and jewel-encrusted decorations, is sufficient for all the groups of living beings on the face of the earth and meets all their needs. Thus, this matter points to an all-glorious provider who is all-wise, all-generous, and all-compassionate, and shows him as clearly as the sun.
So that's clear, isn't it? Or would you like to just summarize what this paragraph is emphasizing on?
Well, I'll let others speak, but to me, it's kind of rephrasing what he just said in the paragraph above.
Yeah. No, we have to acknowledge it. I mean, I don't know why we find it so difficult to acknowledge this obvious reality out there and always attracting our attention like flashes. And because of the familiarity, I think familiarity is a big problem for human beings. When we keep seeing the same things, we don't get excited anymore. When we eat the same things, we don't get excited anymore. If something new then attracts our attention, that is how we are created. In one aspect, it makes our life easy because we got used to it. But at the same time, it really harms our purpose of existence. Our purpose of existence requires awareness, consciousness. And of course, there is only one way of prompting this consciousness, awakening this consciousness, is questioning. Why is it there? Who provided it? Where did it come from? How come it happens? So these words, these questions help us arouse our wonder, our attention, and look for the purpose. Who is doing it? Now, if something happens accidentally, you cannot see the beauty in it, the purpose in it. It happens by itself. And it should be meaningless. But as far as we see, there's nothing meaningless. Everything has its, in its existence, perfect meaning, demonstrating the qualities of their makers, creators, which are universe-wise. We will read them. Universe-wise spread. Not only one thing, every quality manifesting, reflecting on it. For example, provider. Making everything decorated. And everything needs, as this question will follow here. So do they everything need sustenance? Now, that's a good question, inshallah. We will read this, and they are all provided. So, inshallah, just intention to me, be aware of what is going on in our environment, and have the intention to question. To question, so simple. How is it happening here? Who is doing that? Does it need a conscious agent for them to exist? Question them. And yeah, I think this is the main thing that main problem we are suffering from is we don't question. Just not because we don't want, because of familiarity. So familiarity really uh, makes our feelings and human qualities uh, senseless. So makes them be quiet. So we have to take an action. Intention is the most important thing. We have to have the intention to be aware of what is going on in our environment so that we will have a conscious life, meaningful life, inshallah. Okay?
So I'll continue.
Yeah, if you want to say something, I would love to hear anyone, definitely. But if no one wants to say something more,
I'll say I really like um when you said that familiarity is a big problem for humans. Because when we see the same thing over and over again, we stop seeing it. So to which harms our purpose of existence. So how do we get out of that downward spiral is what you said, which is start asking questions.
yeah, yeah, that's important. Inshallah, we will try this. Inshallah. Okay, we can continue. Inshallah.
Is that so? Is everything in need of sustenance? Yes, like individual beings are in need of sustenance and all the necessities to continue their lives. We see that all the beings in the world, and especially living beings, whether universal or particular, wholes or parts, have many desires and needs, material and otherwise, for their existence, their lives, and the continuation of their lives. But their wants and needs are for such things that their hands cannot reach the least of them, and their power is insufficient for the smallest of them. Yet we see that all their wishes and material and immaterial sustenance is given to them from where he could not imagine. In the Surah Talaq, number 65, ayat 3, from which he could not imagine, from unexpected places with perfect order at the appropriate time in a suitable fashion, the perfect wisdom. And so, does this want and need of creatures in this manner of unseen help and assistance not show an all-wise and glorious nurturer, an all-compassionate, bounteous disposer?
Everything is perfectly arranged. We may think that this material things don't need any sustenance. But for example, we can ask, can or do the stars need sustenance? Definitely. They need to have perfect order and also gravity between them in order to be as they are. Energy, I don't know, the physicists talk about the photons and the relationship between photons and particles. It means energy waves and matter itself. There is a relationship when they are interacting with each other. It is mind-blowing. Incredible relationships and interactions are going on at the very micro level existence and also macro level existence. Everything needs sustenance in order to sustain or to be sustained. We are created in this way. So this is a beautiful relationship. If I am needy of anything as a human being or anything else in the creation, if they are needy of anything, whatever they are in need of is provided. Whatever they need, it is provided so that the existence is realized in a perfect balance, stability, that we don't see anything disturbing us. Everything is continuing its existence as if nothing is happening in this world, as if. Why? We don't see any difficulty in creation. So there is no lack of creation sometimes, and something unexpectedly happening here and there. No, everything is perfectly arranged and created in such a way that we know, if we study carefully, we know what will happen, what will be created, because the creation is realized in a perfect order. So order is what makes our life comfortable. That is what we need. Can you imagine? It keeps the earth is keeping keep the when if the earth globe of earth keeps shaking. Though sometimes it does just for a purpose again, and we need that disturbance once in one's life. We need that disturbance. Everything is perfect, but something is created in order to wake us up. These are all purposeful creation, inshallah, if we pay attention to it. So how is it? We cannot find any source. How this sustenance for everything is provided from where we couldn't imagine. No, we cannot imagine from a source within the universe that it is arranging it. No, I am created and whatever I need is provided for me. By whom? I cannot see any source of existence within the universe that it could have provided all this to me. It means the creator, the source of existence of the whole universe is doing this. So I can understand this easily. Whoever has created the complete entire universe must be the one who is arranging all of them. Inshallah. Inshallah, we will have this consciousness. Any more comment on the paragraph?
Can I make a comment?
Of course, why not? Don't ask. Go ahead.
I just realized from what you said that the word sustenance means more than just food and drink. I mean, when we use the word sustenance, it typically means food and drink to support our body, our minds. But in what you just said, sustenance is much more than just that. It's order, it's stability, it's being able to sustain something. So I just, I don't know. I just learned that that word is really much, much more than I had originally had always originally thought of it as. So I didn't realize that sustenance could also mean stability and order. So for me, that was really interesting.
Yeah, that's, I mean, water and food is definitely necessary for us. But whole universe definitely needs, like atmosphere. Without atmosphere, I cannot live. Like without this energy created in the universe, nothing can continue its existence. So provided that more than air they needed, at least I can stay without air for 1 or 2 minutes. But if the energy, which is called gravity, is created in the universe, everything will collapse in their existence. Everything will be meaningless, confusion, complete destroyal of the whole universe. These are I've likened it to the atmosphere for the galaxies, the gravity they call it. This is a perfect arrangement. I don't know how people who are hesitant in acknowledging the creator, what is the source of existence of energy? What is the source of anything? An arrangement of this energy. Who is arranging it? Who is planning it? Can you do simplest thing? For example, I don't know, a pen. Without planning it, without having planned and purpose to make it and get every material ready for it. How about the universe altogether? It needs an infinite knowledge, infinite intention, infinite power, not in order to realize this universe as it is. It is obvious, inshallah. Okay?
Okay, the eighth flash.
Yeah.
Any sort of seed sown in a field shows that the field must be at the disposal of the seed's owner, and that the seed too is under the disposal of the one who has control of the field. Similarly, the arable field of beings known as the elements and their universality and comprehensiveness, as well as their sameness and uncomplex nature, and the plants and animals, these fruits of mercy, miracles of power, and words of wisdom known as creatures, and they're spreading to most places and settling everywhere, as well as their being similar and resembling one another, show that they are under the disposal of a single miracle displaying maker, and in such a way that it is as if every flower, fruit, and animal is a seal, stamp, and signature of its maker. Wherever they are found, each says through the tongue of disposition, whose ever seal I am, the place I am found is also of his making. Whose ever stamp I am, this place is a missive of his. Whose ever signature I am, this land too is of his weaving. That means to be sustainer of the least creature is particular to the one who holds all the elements in the grasp of his power.
Mhm. I thought.
Anyone who is not blind can see that to regulate and govern the simplest animal behavior, anyone who is not blind can see that to regulate and govern the simplest animal is particular to the one who has all beings in the grasp of his sovereignty.
Any comment about it? I feel this is very simple example, but really interesting, this one. Let's say a seed sown in a field shows that the field must be at the disposal of the seed's owner. Why? Because of the relationship between seed and the field, is perfectly connected to each other, communicating with each other. So whoever owns the seed must own the field so that it is really it is sowing this in it, or it is creating this seed in this field. So the field must be at the disposal of the seed's owner, whoever owns the seed, and that the seed too is under the disposal of the one who has control of the field. So that is a simple example. There is a complete interaction, perfect harmony between these two, and how they are created in a wise way. Similarly, the arable field of beings, known as the elements, and their universality and comprehensiveness, the elements, for example, whoever provided the elements, let's say particles, or its energy side is photons, waves, they call it electromagnetic waves, whatever they call it, these energy waves, and the particles, matter. These simple elements are used in the body of every being in the universe. It means whoever is the source of existence of this element must be the source of existence of every individual being in this universe, animate, inanimate, material, whatever, everything. So whoever owns for example, let's do this reasoning from reverse direction. Whoever is creating the fruit on the tree must be the creator of the tree as well. Must be the creator of the tree as well. Okay. So this interaction, interconnectedness between these two, between everything, demonstrates that we cannot divide the universe. We cannot separate the pieces, every piece from each other. And unfortunately, what they are doing, certain people are doing, taking and separating one item from this perfectly arranged the universe, and independently and in an isolated way. They study it. They say, look, it is happening in this way, maybe by itself. But it is in connection with its environment, and its environment is connection with the everything in existing in the universe. So they can really reduce the value of a being to almost an individual, isolated, existent item. That is the source of all these mistaken or deluding ideas come from there, from isolation, studying them individually. For example, if someone is studying my body, this person must study the atmosphere, pressure of the air, sunlight, and the earth, the vegetables, fruit, the clouds, because I am created in connection with them, and we are created in such a perfect harmony. There is no way to see any disharmony or disconnection between them. You cannot isolate the existence of anything from its environment. So we have to study it within the context of the whole order of the universe and see if let's take a simple example, if my kidneys are working, and if you want to understand how they are working, they have to see the relationship between my stomach, my digestion system, my brain, my heart, and whoever is going to study the kidney must study the lungs and also atmosphere and the pressure and clouds that we see the rains are sent through them. All these kind of interactions must be taken care of while studying how a kidney works. It may seem to be impossible, but at least be aware of it while we are studying the kidney. So don't reduce that kidney is acting in this way by itself. It is just a clear insult to the creator of the kidney within the context of the perfect order of the universe. Amazing, but at the same time, unfortunately, reduced to this matter acting by itself. So simple-minded people. Anyways, we have to take care of our responsibility. Any comment from anyone? We can continue reading. We have time, Sean. If there is no comment.
I would just say that Nursey talks about this a lot. This in many, he says it in many different ways. About the interconnectedness of everything, and also whoever made the atom had to have been able to make the universe as well. So the interconnectedness is from the smallest to the biggest. It's something I see in Nursey's writings over and over again. It's like he's continually reminding us, because we need to be reminded, because otherwise I think we will forget.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. Definitely, I agree. We forget, as we talked about it, about our familiarity and the policy of familiarity and how we are carried away with this feeling and which kind of really troubles we are putting ourselves as if living in this world in a meaningless way and trying to concentrate only for the provision of our material bodily needs. All these problems arise from not appreciating the creation of the universe and grace of our creator in at the universal level. So we are just concentrated in a selfish way for our needs of our stomach and some sort of simple things around us. I need this, I need that, most of which are just artificial things. Inshallah, we will wake up, inshallah. We can.
I'll continue with the last paragraph of the eighth slash.
Yes, please. You have to finish it, inshallah.
Indeed, through the tongue of similarity to other individuals.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. All individual beings say, only one who owns my species can be my owner. It cannot be otherwise. And through the tongue of spreading over the face of the earth, together with other species, each species says, only one who owns the whole face of the earth can be our owner. It cannot be otherwise. And through the tongue of being bound to the sun and other planets and mutually supportive with the skies, the earth says, only one who is owner of the whole universe can be my owner. It cannot be otherwise. Yes, supposing someone were to say to a conscious apple, you are my work of art. Through the tongue of disposition, the apple would reply, be silent. If you are capable of fashioning all the other apples on the earth, indeed, if you can have disposal over all my fellows, the other fruit-bearing trees, spread over the earth, and all the gifts of the most merciful, proceeding from the treasury of mercy in boatloads, then you can claim to be my sustainer. The apple would say that and aim a slap at that foolish person.
Not assuming that this apple is a conscious being. No. I mean, I would say, why not? Because the meaning we extract from the existence of the apple demonstrates that there's meaning in the existence of it when I look at it, and of course, carefully, we said from the very beginning that it needs intention and then attention. So if I have the intention to pay attention to the creation in order to see how I am really enveloped with the mercy of my creator, so I have to have this intention and consciousness of my existence and the existence of everything around me. And therefore, I have to acknowledge how merciful, how wise the creator of all these blessings, all these graces for us. So it seems to be a simple example. This man is following the principle of the Quran, which gives extremely simple examples. The Quran's examples are so simple, even some people doubt about it, about them that, oh, God is going to give this simple example. Which kind of God who has absolute knowledge? He should give us the most unknown secrets of the micro or macro world. What is going on beyond this all clusters of galaxies, for example, or what is going on beyond the particle level of existence of each smallest beings, smallest items in the creation. So, uh, simple example. The Quran gives simple example, and it is, of course, wise to follow this principle of the Quran and give simple example. If someone says, but an apple is developed by itself. I'm changing the example a little bit, adapting it to the needs of our time. And of course, everybody says the things are really adapting themselves to their environment and uh, just trying to survive by themselves. Apple is, or the cell of the apple and the elements of the cell of the apple try to survive. I read it this recently in a source. It says they try to survive. Who are they? The particles of the cell. They try to survive. Why? What? How do they know that they should survive? No question. Anyways, they say the apple or the DNA of the apple developed itself by itself. All right. Okay. Welcome this new idea. But if it develops itself, it has to know that the other apples also should develop in the same way, because other kinds of apples are different kinds of apples. Their DNA structures are completely different. Why they have some common points altogether? How do they arrange this interaction between themselves? Which kind of qualities they have to do that? Even human beings have been studying for centuries and centuries in order to have a network, telephone or internet network. How many centuries the people have been studying all this interesting order of the universe, how it works, and how many thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people devoting their life in order to understand how the subatomic worlds or wave-like electromagnetic creation energy of the universe work. And then we came up with the telephone. We are interacting with each other with telephone now. Which kind of particles that they communicate with each other and make sure that they all will survive within the order of the universe by themselves. How wonderful idea to invent. I will call it invention because it has no reality. So they are really making up all these stories in order to deviate the minds of especially young, innocent, naive generation, unfortunately. Last thing, that the practical things. I'm not really a subscriber to an Instagram. I don't have any kind of things like that. Only I know YouTube. That's it. Old school man I am. So I I have received something from my friend, and really I respect this friend, honor him a lot. So I wanted to see, and I wanted to sign in Instagram. Oh man, oh, my friends, impossible to believe what is going on there. All of them are trash, has no value. I couldn't get through these advertisements or whatever they call it and watch what my friend shared with me. I couldn't. Why? It didn't allow me. I didn't know how to go through these advertisements or whatever. And they are so, yes, some of them are funny, but meaningless. People don't get pleasure by looking at the beautiful creation of the things around them. They just live in a completely 100% artificial, made up life. How wonderful to use this, the internet gift, Allah's gift, created the universe with which allows us to use internet system there, and how abusive this way of using Allah's grace. Just nonsense. All of them are nonsense. Maybe some of them are, I've seen one of them, yes, made me laugh. But for what? Nothing. It doesn't give me any value. It doesn't add any value to my human side. I don't know how these people will defend themselves from the onslaught of this heinous attack. Impossible, impossible. When I go to mosque to pray Friday prayer, and on some occasions, of course. So I see, especially Friday prayers, young Muslim people come there, or young people from Muslim family background. Usually, I haven't seen yet in my neighborhood and chosen. The person has chosen Islam for his way of life or way of thinking. Of course, first of all, way of thinking, and secondly, way of life. If you don't think, how can you live accordingly? So they think and they live accordingly. I haven't seen any, but they are all Muslims because their families are Muslims. That is the reason. So what do? I sit at the back deliberately, because young people sit at the back without attracting the attention of the imam who's giving this sermon, khutbah. So I sit with them while, until we stand up for prayer, they are busy with their telephone watching this stupid, meaningless clips, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, I don't know. That is why, very quick. One goes, another come. One goes, another come. Endless, endless, endless. They keep themselves busy with nothing. I am very sorry for them. I don't blame them, because they don't know why they believe in anything. Because that's their culture. Follow their culture. That's it. Okay. Let me see. It is the same in the classrooms, unfortunately. Okay, thank you. You are saying it is the same when I sit in this back of my any university classroom. You see that those people who sit at the back. I understand. Okay, thank you very much. I spoke a lot. I'm sorry. I just shared my excitement this morning, and I felt very, very sorry for these young people. They don't know the alternative just because they are following any religious tradition, just because it is their culture, accustomed way of family life. That's it. I don't know what to do. Okay. Any more comment? Otherwise, we have to stop. I think the time is already up. Okay, shall we stop? Huh?
Yeah, this is a good place to stop.
Okay, thank you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة.